Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the Republic India PSU Vision Summit Strengthening India. Before we begin today's conversation, we would like to acknowledge and warmly welcome our esteemed partners. Infrastructure partner, NBCC, Innovation and Excellence at Work. Funding partner, REC Limited, Endless Energy, Infinite Possibilities. Knowledge partner, Council of Architecture, Empowering Architecture, Transforming Nation. Energy partner, EESL, Enabling More for Environmentally Conscious Indians. Engineering partner, Allied Engineering Works Limited, empowering smart grids with end-to-end solutions. Education partner, APJ Education, and aviation partner, Airports Authority of India. Today's summit is a powerful platform that brings together leadership voices shaping the future of India's public sector undertaking institutions that form the backbone of national infrastructure, energy security, technology adoption, and economic resilience. Across the next few sessions, we will explore how PSUs are evolving from legacy institutions into agile, future-ready engines for growth, driven by sustainability, innovation, and strong governance.
It is a privilege to be here and to put across certain thoughts about how architecture could be capable of looking at progress of our nation, specifically with reference to public sector undertakings. It's very interesting to note that when we are progressing ahead and we are becoming one of those economies which are going to be recognized at an international level, and also we are talking about basically taking our civilization to greater heights, the journey could not be completed without architecture, because architecture happens to be the testimony of the progress of a civilization. And that is how, if you look at the ancient civilizations, you will realize that that is what is happening around. But that is only one part of it. The other part which we have to primarily look at is the world is at the crossroads, and we are talking about a development. At the same point of time now, we are becoming much, much more responsible also as far as the development is concerned, because we know that the development is going to adversely affect the environment. The environment which is meant for survival of a human race. The resources are limited and resources need to be very, very judiciously used, which also includes possibly energy, it includes water, it includes the natural resources, it also includes consumption of the energy, so on and so forth. Now, this is one aspect of it. Another aspect which we have to look at is that of a technology which is progressing very, very fast. And thereby we are talking about a disruptive technology nowadays, whereupon the artificial intelligence, the digital manufacturing tools, the complete sensing of the building and its activities, automation tools, Internet of Things, and so on and so forth, are basically becoming integral part of the entire process. And this is a role which public sector undertakings are expected to play. This is where we would be capable of saving our resources. This is where we would be capable of giving the future of architecture, future of a building, future of India. We as the public sector undertakings, we have to understand that our resources needs to be used in a very, very specific fashion, whereupon the rationalization is happening around. We are capable of justifying our expenditure, and if that has to happen as such, there has to have very, very proper consultants on board, and the rational processes need to be understood by our own people so that they are capable of appreciating it as such. And if that is not there, let us also have the training sessions. I mean, we as a Council of Architecture are willing to actually take free of cost training sessions for everyone to basically acclimatize them to appreciate and understand what architecture is. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. I'm happy to be here. Yes. All the very best to all.
Ours is the only company which has been solely created for the purpose of energy efficiency execution. We are JV of 4 PSUs, NTPC, Power Grid, REC and PFC, and we were created in 2009 with the sole purpose of taking the energy efficiency projects. So maybe people may not be aware of ESL as such, but when I tell about the schemes and the impact, I think the impact of ESL has been more than any other PSU in the country. If you remember 10 years ago, the street lights, we used to have sodium lamps on the street, yellow sodium lamps. They were of 250 watt, 300 watt. So Government of India asked us to change entire sodium lamp in the country, and we changed close to 2.8 crore sodium lamps with the LEDs. Today, if you go to any city, you will not find sodium lamps. In entire country, ESL was the agency which replaced the street lights. Solar cold storage is a new concept which is getting popularized, because earlier we have very big cold storages. But now we have come with a product where we are designing 5 to 10 empty cold storage which will run on the solar power. And there is a huge appetite for this, and this will not run on the grid, this will be off the grid. So again the power saving will be there. Our Prime Minister has put a very ambitious target of 5 lakh megawatt renewable power by 2030. As of now, we are generating more than 5 lakh megawatt, and around 2.4 is still thermal, because country cannot be solely dependent on the solar till our BESS and other things come. I think from 2009, when we were formed with four PSUs, as I told you, under Ministry of Power, Government of India. So we are the only PSU in the country which sole mandate is to do the job, not make policies. Making policy job of Bureau of Energy Efficiency or Government of India, and who also doing. But who will do it? So we are the one who are doing it. We have done projects of thousands of crores, and we are still doing it. So I believe that I will just take you to what next we are doing, because everybody knows that sodium lamps have been replaced with the LED on the streets. Though still we have now LED lights which are more efficient than earlier LED lights. But when I go to MCGs, they say अब तो LED लगा दिया, अब तो कोई जरूरत नहीं है. But 120 watt LED light can be easily replaced with 80 watt LED lights, giving more light. But it is all about the priority and financing and what we think, where we want to spend. As a ESL, it is our job, our duty to educate. We go to all the municipal commissioners, we tell them it is not enough that we have replaced sodium lamp with the LED. This LED can be further optimized. So if they have money, I think they will come to us and we will do it. We have to be environmentally conscious when we are talking about AQI, and this is not only about energy efficiency should not be linked with the only power saving of your bill. And if you save, you will save your bill will come from 6,000 to 3,000. It's not like that. It has a very, very wider ramification. When you are saving power, you are saving the environment, you are improving the AQI, you are reducing the thermal emission. So it is not about your own individual saving only.
So I would like to share with you my experiences of telecom sector and the PSUs. PSUs are a boring subject, You know, we reel out a lot of data, and nobody loves PSUs. They use it only. And I would like to share my experiences of PSUs. See, there were some of the very largest companies in the telecom sector which were really doing a great business. I like to list them. There was one called MTNL, then there was a BSNL, there is TCIL, there was a company called ITI, and a whole lot of other small subsidiaries ITI, for example, the company which started manufacturing the telephone instruments, was the first to be set up immediately after independent India. And you might have heard of companies like Huawei, which is a very powerful Chinese company. They supply telecom equipment all over the world. ITI was much earlier and which was doing a lot of jobs. But suddenly I found that ITI disappeared and Huawei is one of the leaders. We'll have to ask that question why. Then we had a company called MTNL. I was CFO of that company for 7 years. I used to say that MTNL was the one company who had customers. Anyone you name them, they were our customers. In Delhi and Bombay. This was a company which was running the telecom sector of Delhi and Bombay. And right from Dilip Kumar to the President of India, they were our customer. And we were doing a great job. But then suddenly, MTNL became a sick company. And I'll tell you why and how. And I would like to tell you this company, MTNL, very specifically, because the MTNL, when the corporatization came in and when privatization started coming into India, MTNL was one stock which was, the government wanted to disinvest a part of the company. And in order to disinvest the company, when we went to the market, we were amazed. All over the world, people showed interest in these stocks of MTNL. And MTNL was divested. I was a part of that process. We were going to London, Singapore, US, everywhere. And we were into a big league. All the big companies and the financial companies were interested in buying our stock. And we sold that stock. But afterwards, the freedom which we wanted was not given and the MTNL became a sick company. When the telecom operator came into the mobile telephones, there was a time when you call, you have to pay. When you receive a phone call, you have to pay. आज की तरह नहीं है कि आप घंटों घंटों कब मारते रहते हैं फ्री में, ऐसा नहीं था तब. जब आप टेलीफोन की कॉल रिसीव करते थे, you had to pay. And then when you had to receive a call, you had to pay. Now this was a very difficult kind of a tariff regime. But when BSNL came, we started a tariff which was only outgoing call charges. And the other thing was that we went into the rural areas. गांव में कोई टेलीफोन नहीं लगाना चाहता था मोबाइल का. छोटे शहरों में कोई मोबाइल फोन नहीं लगाना चाहता था. All the big operators, which are private operators like Airtel, Vodafone and so on and so forth, they were only operating in the big cities and metropolitan cities. We went into the rural areas. When we went to the rural areas, everybody laughed at us, saying that, look, these people will be folding back, they will have no revenue, nobody will buy their phone because in the rural areas, people are very poor. I would like to share with you this experience. We started with 40 lakh telephones. 40 lakh telephones were sold in 6 months. Every person in the rural area wanted the telephone from BSNL. And then I was amazed. Once I had tears in my eyes, I went to a hospital and I found that there was a young man who was talking on the phone to his mother. And he said, "माँ मैं बीमार हूँ और मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है, खाना नहीं खाया है." तो मैंने उससे पूछा कि भाई तुमने फ़ोन क्यों चला रहे हो? कहने लगा फ़ोन के बिना तो मर जाऊँगा, खाना नहीं खाऊँगा तब भी चल जाएगा. So that was the necessity of communicating that we provided and the telephone has provided. Of course, a lot of credit goes to the private operators also. They have done a great job. I'm not criticizing them. But PSUs, telecom companies did a great job in India. And the reach of BSNL was to some of the remotest part of the country and which was our, I would say, was a feather in our cap. I would also like to share with you when a lot of these PSUs, some of them were privatized and private companies came in, the manpower and the technical skills which are running the private companies, they all came from PSUs. If you take power sector, a lot of people went from NTPC. Similarly, if you take oil sector, a lot of people went from ONGC and Indian Oil and so on. So there is a HR which is very, very powerful in these PSUs. PSUs are a big story, and I thank Arnab and your team for organizing this program. But then you will have to also recommend that the PSUs should be given a little freedom and a little space to work, because some of the PSUs can do wonders, and they are very powerful in terms of manpower, in terms of technical knowledge, and so on.
I'm truly honored to be able to participate in this August event of Republic India PSU Vision Summit 2025, a platform that reflects the strength of the Indian PSUs and their enduring partnership with the industry in nation building. AEW is a technology-driven IoT and automation company, and we are focusing on smart metering and utility applications. We cater to end-to-end value chain, including manufacturing of meters, IT solutions, communication solutions, and also installation and O&M activities. We have more than 24 years of experience in specialized manufacturing excellence in the energy metering, having a very comprehensive range of smart meters, including consumer meters, audit meters, and asset meters. Over the years, we have partnered with more than 40 utilities across India, working closely with major Indian utilities like UP, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Haryana, Andhra Pradesh, etc. And our approach has been very simple. We have understood the challenges of the utility and the ground. We have designed the solutions which are scalable, reliable, and secure. And C, we have manufactured at quality levels that utility can depend on for decades. With the installed capacity of about 7.2 million meters, we are one of the top 5 meter manufacturers of the country, with more than 10% market share and leadership in high-end metering, positioning us as a premium meter manufacturer of the country. Each smart meter installed today is not just a device, but it is a data point for governance, efficiency, and reform. And smart meter will always play a critical role in not just energy measurement, but also energy audits, prepaid metering. We are creating a platform where we can integrate the entire utility operations into a single platform using SCADA, DMS, and other digitalization of the grid. We are proud to align with the Ministry of Power goal of having more than 60% local content and having 100% local content for all the IT and communication solutions which we provide today. We understand that a strong distribution network would be a very important foundation for the national growth, and this will help DISCOMs become financially sustainable. As Saxenaji was saying that PSUs, any loss-making PSUs are to move towards privatization. So I think this is one of the foundation stone where this unlocking will happen, and DISCOMs will now be able to attract a lot of private participation and investments, which was earlier not the case. So the technology is changing that perception towards the distribution sector in the country. And therefore, we will see a lot of government resources will be freed up. We will see that a lot of industries would get reliable power. Of course, that remains to be the backbone of the entire economy today. And the consumers would give a lot of confidence and control. AEW is contributing directly by providing this, strengthening this last mile connectivity in the power value chain, by improving the ease of life in economic productivity, digital inclusion, and helping India reach its target of 5 trillion economy at the earliest possible time. This, of course, is in whole of this journey, the Indian PSUs has been very, very critical. While Dikshitji did mention about all the initiatives of ESL, but I think one of the greatest initiatives which ESL also took was smart metering. And it was only because of the initiatives of ESL that the government of India was able to create a policy framework around smart metering, and a scheme like RDSS could be launched at a scale and level as we see it today. So we provide our sincere gratitude to Government of India, Ministry of Power for having their visionary leadership and driving the reforms with accountability. State governments and DISCOMs for their trust and collaboration with the industry in launching these solutions. REC, PFC, ESL and other implementing agencies and PSUs for their institutional support. And of course, all the MSPs and private players for their execution excellence.
Thank you, sir, for joining on a very important topic, Parmanu Urja. We talk about a lot of energies. Why do you think, Mr. Pal, that suddenly nuclear energy has become the global focus?
Thank you, Himanshu. That's really a very pertinent question. Why nuclear? Why now? And why so aggressive? So the issue remains is there's an international scenario, and the geopolitics have been dictating a lot of developments across the world. And while Europe was very comfortable with renewable energy and with the cheaply available Russian gas, the Ukraine confrontation sort of changed the scenario. So worldwide, need was felt for two or three things. Number one was to reduce the carbon footprint. And nuclear, as you know, is having a life cycle carbon footprint almost equal to that of wind. So that is one of the lowest in the entire energy basket. Second is with the gas supplies getting disrupted, obviously the cost of international gas was going up, and people found that other technologies had to be pursued to sort of bring in nuclear. And therefore, there was a European shift in thinking. And across the world, that tend to drive a kind of rethink. And since everybody wanted a reduced carbon footprint as well as a sustainable and dependable source of power, nuclear seemed to be a very amenable way or the choice of technology to sort of go ahead with it.
Mr. Pal, you have been closely working with the Baswara Atomic Research Project, and I think there are a lot of progress when you see the entire project. Tell us about your project and what it's going to basically deal with and how much energy you are planning to produce.
When there was talk of bringing in other entities into the nuclear business, one of the first entities to be roped in was NTPC, which was long back.
Yeah.
And a joint venture company was established with the Nuclear Power Corporation. Of course, over the years, the geopolitics and situations were such that the nuclear business could not sort of take off in India in a big way. But now with the more positive scenario, this particular joint venture was given the fillip and the push, and the Mahi Banswara Rajasthan Atomic Power Project, which was transferred to this joint venture company, was given focus. And the project authorities, my team, and the rest of the team have worked very hard for it, and all the environmental clearances were achieved. The regulatory clearances were achieved. The site clearance was achieved from the Atomic Energy Regulatory Board after a lot of due diligence studies and everything. And now the Mahi Banswara project is just poised to take off.
The data centers, I'll call them, if data is the new oil, data center you can say new oil well kind of thing. Actually, it stores your data, it processes your data, it transfers your data, and even computing power. So that infrastructure what is required is called data center. Actually, though we produce 20% of the data of the world, we only have 2% of the data center capacity in the country. That means most of the data is still stored outside the country for processing, though it comes back, and it costs, of course, and then there is a national security issue, there is a privacy issue. If a data, and now the government has passed a new bill called DPDP Act, actually, as per that, a personal data of any Indian user cannot go out of the country, not even for processing purpose, not even for transferring purpose. And that is why the more and more data center infrastructures are required, actually. We only have the data, actually center infrastructure is measured not only in the petabytes or gigabits, it is measured in gigawatts, megawatts, actually it is measured, because that is the cooling requirement. Power requirement for cooling of a data center infrastructure or the equipment is the actually measure of the data center capacity. So in India, at the moment, we have only 1 gigawatt of data center capacity, all combined. And what is required is at least 10 gigawatt today's data center handling, and then it has to go more and more.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's discussions at the Republic India PSU Vision Summit, Strengthening India, have made one thing clear, that India's PSUs are not just supporting national growth, they are leading it. from sustainable infrastructure and energy efficiency to nuclear power to financial resilience to smart technologies and blockchain-driven governance, PSUs are redefining what modern public sector leadership looks like. On behalf of Republic Media Network, thank you to all our distinguished speakers and audience for being part of this meaningful dialogue.